Hello, and welcome to episode 22 of CGN Live. We already got someone in the chat. James, wondering where I was. I like to start a little afternoon to let some people trickle in and get ready for the show. But yes, if you're joining me, please say hello, drop a line. But move a little bit closer to the microphone here. Yes, my name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics, and I am the host of CGN Live. Sorry for the incredible glare in my glasses. And I do all the social media and newsletter and this weekly show for CGN. And I look forward to talking to you guys today about comics. Every week we go live and we discuss the books, comics and graphic novels that will be on sale for CGN the following week. So all the books that we talk about today will be on sale Monday evening, Monday, June 19th. And then once a month, we go live to discuss the new catalog of pre-orders that we have. So if you want to look at previous episodes, you can go to the live tab on our YouTube channel and check those out. We did do a live video for the June pre-order catalog if you want a little bit deeper dissection of each of those books. And be sure to follow us on social media. Twitter and Instagram are both at CheapGN. And then on Facebook, you can follow us at Cheap Graphic Novels. Just search for that in your Facebook search bar. Be sure to like this video if you like the content. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're watching this later than the live footage, make sure you comment. I'll always go back and try to pick through the old comments and respond to people too, in case you can't watch this live, which I understand. We do typically do these videos at noon on Thursdays. We have had some primetime versions or maybe some on some other days and whatnot. But typically it's noon on Thursday. And then check my second screen there. Trying to think if there's anything else. We do have a Conan the Barbarian sale going on still. Where all of our Conan books are 55% off, which is a big deal. That includes omnibuses, epic collections, and even the modern Marvel run. Conan is moving to Titan Comics. Titan's already acquired the license and announced some of their omnibus editions that they're coming out with, where they're reprinting some of the Marvel years, but also doing their continuing, like the Savage Sword of Conan omnibuses that Marvel started. They've already announced Volume 9. That was announced by Omar of Near Mint Condition. And what I would recommend, though, is that since Titan is going to do the same trim size and same trade dress, the only difference is it's going to say Titan instead of Marvel. I will warn you that the prices for the Titan versions are going to be more expensive. They're going to be, I think, $150 cover price, but also the discounts that your retailers that you order from, like Cheap Graphic Novels, is going to be lower. So you're not going to be able to, they're not going to be as cheap as they were when Marvel was releasing them. So what I'm saying is that if there's any omnibuses that we have on sale in that Conan sale, you might want to pick up now. They'll still line up on your shelf nicely with the Titan versions to fill in gaps, but you might want to pick up some of these while they're 55% off. But the preamble's over. If you're in the chat watching, please drop a line about what comics you've been reading, what comics you're excited that are coming out soon. If you're going to go see Flash this weekend, another movie's coming out. We have a couple books in this week's releases that have to do with the movie. Just drop a line, say hello. Like to know. Lost my feed there for a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and pull up the screen. And then I'll go back and forth between the chat and the releases that we have. All right, there's the website. Let me pull it up in the view where you can see mostly the comics and not so much my face. Okay, that's not pulling up. All right. Looks good on the second screen. All right, so this is the front page of the website. Real quickly, I just want to direct your attention to the bottom of the page. If you keep scrolling, you'll see join our newsletter today. Enter your email address there, hit subscribe, and then a confirmation email will be sent to you, hopefully in your inbox, possibly in your spam. check both just in case. And make sure you confirm that you do want to subscribe. We send weekly newsletters out. Those come every Monday, and I write those as well. And then we send out email blasts as well if we have any sales going on and whatnot. So you don't want to miss out on those either. I'm going to scroll back up here to this week's new releases. And as you can see here, we have the last 6 weeks available. So if there's one week that you weren't able to order anything, but you feel like you missed out and you want to see what was coming out that week, you can pick on a previous week. But today we're going to click on next week. These are the next week's releases. One new feature of the site, Max, the guy that runs the show over at CGN, just put this in place due to popular demand, I guess customer demand, that books that are coming out that aren't out yet now say coming soon instead of out of stock. Previously, they said out of stock up until the point where you can order them, and people were saying that was kind of confusing. They thought maybe the pre-orders were done or we weren't going to get any in stock at any point, but now it says coming soon. So it's a little bit clearer there. So either that button's going to say out of stock, coming soon, or add to cart. So that's a little important bit of business that Max took care of for us. So I appreciate that. And we had, he asked me about that, and I told him we had some listeners, some viewers that were actually asking about that, and Max got it done. He changed it. So I love that. I love that we have a retailer that listens to us as customers. All right. So up first, the first 3 books here we're going to see are reprints or restocks. And they've been previously released a few times actually, but now they're being restocked for anybody that wants to pick them up that missed out on them. This first one is Moon Knight Omnibus Volume 1. And each of these only have one cover available. That's all Marvel put available in the restock. So you don't have like the 2 cover options that we normally have. And there's actually no new Marvel omnibuses coming out next week. So it's actually a good week to kind of catch up on some of these restocks if you didn't have them in your collection already. But this one is the Moon Knight Volume 1 with the David Finch cover. This is the very first Moon Knight omnibus of the very first Moon Knight material. You'll get his origin story in Werewolf by Night, 32-33, and then it kicks off with the Doug Minch and Bill Sienkiewicz run, which is a phenomenal run if you've not read it. You really get to see Bill Sienkiewicz, who's one of my favorite comic book artists ever. You get to see his artwork develop over time. It starts off with more of a Neil Adams kind of style, very much like Neil Adams, but then it develops into the Bill Sienkiewicz that we know and love, where it's like more ambitious and inspiring, like panel layouts and their painting is being used and that kind of thing. So I love Bill Sienkiewicz's artwork, and you get to see it develop over time throughout this run itself, and it's a pretty remarkable. This omnibus though will be $74.99 if you order through CGN next week. That's 40% off the cover price. And we have a Moon Knight fan in the house. David Finch art, Moon Knight, love it. But do you love the Bill Sienkiewicz interiors though? Low hit. I think the answer is yes, and I hope it is. But yeah, it's David Finch. It's a more modern art on the cover there. But the interiors are done. I mean, it's not just Bill Sienkiewicz too. You'll see Keith Giffen does a couple issues. I think those are the Defenders issues. Is that what that is? Yeah, Defenders 47-50. Those are Keith Giffen, which are really fun because it's like Keith Giffen when he was doing his like Jack Kirby homage style. Keith Giffen's changed his style a number of times, but during that period it was like when he was doing his Jack Kirby stuff. And then Dennis Cowan, Herb Trimpe, Keith Pollard, Jim Craig, Jim Mooney, Don Perlin, but Bill Sienkiewicz is the good stuff. Yes, Bill is great too. Absolutely. So that's the first book we have on the docket. Up next, we have Uncanny X-Men Omnibus Volume 3. And again, we only have the one cover available. That's all Marvel has provided in the restock, which I think it seems like that's a trend that Marvel's going to be doing, that they'll maybe restock these more frequently, but maybe with only one cover available. So that DM cover is still going to be a little bit more rare, I guess. maybe once a full-on reprint, they will provide the DM cover again. But these restocks seem to be coming more frequently. But this is the era of Uncanny X-Men that has the graphic novel number 5, which is God Loves, Man Kills. It also has the Wolverine miniseries 1 through 4, which is amazing. It's the Frank Miller artwork on with Claremont's writing, and then Magic 1 through 4. So this is a really, really cool collection of not just the X-Men material, which you get the Brood Saga in there as well for the X-Men material. It has 21 issues of Uncanny X-Men and a couple annuals, but the graphic novel God Loves, Man Kills, the Wolverine mini series, and Magic mini series are all really, really great. You don't want to miss out on that. That Frank Miller Wolverine series is really like Frank Miller starting to break out into like the kind of the artwork we would see in Ronin. It's like that, and it takes place in Japan too. That story with Wolverine, it's a little bit of his origin from Japan. We get to see him break out into like kind of the what you see with Ronin. So it's like Frank Miller, who he himself, his artwork originally when he was doing like the Spider-Man issues and like the first beginning parts of his Daredevil run, has like a Neil Adams style too, because Neil Adams was one of his mentors, just as like Neil Adams was one of Sienkiewicz's mentors. They both kind of started off with this very Neil Adams look, and then they both branched out into their own signature style, which I always love that kind of story because they're two very distinct artists, but both started off the same way. But I digress. This will be $74.99 if you order through CGN. That'll be 40% off. And then the third reprint, or restock, I'm sorry. I have to make sure I'm clear on that. The restock, though, will be Fantastic Four by Jonathan Hickman, Volume 2. And it'll be the Dale Otto cover that is available. Like I said, we only have one cover available. This is only $59.99 if you order through CGN. This is I think the second or third restock for this one. It got reprinted last year, but then it went out of print pretty fast. But this includes the finale of Jonathan Hickman's run on Fantastic Four, so it's really important. For that reason, it collects FF 6 through 23, and then Fantastic Four 600 through 611, and then 605.1. But this includes all the writings done by Jonathan Hickman. But you have great artists. You have Steve Epting, Barry Kitson, Nick Dragato, Gabriel Hernandez Walta, Ron Garney is awesome. Ryan Stegman is even in there. So pick that up if you missed out on Volume 2 of the FF by Hickman. Again, if you're in the chat, drop some lines about what comics you've been reading lately. If you're going to go see Flash this weekend, what your expectations are for Flash. If you're excited or you're going in skeptical, maybe. And which books you're excited are coming out soon. Even if they're not next week. Maybe it's coming out next year and you're excited. Now we have the Phantom Complete Dailies, Volume 27. This covers the years 1977 through 1978 and includes the Wedding of the Phantom hardcover. This by Hermes Press. Lee Falk is the writer. Artist is Seymour Berry. The Cy Berry years, it says in here. So this was the daily comic book strips, and Hermes Press has been putting these out. I mean, they're on volume 27 now. They've been putting them out very faithfully. And it says the issues are taken directly from the King Features proofs. And it includes essays and documentary materials. That means the reprint of the line work in the artwork will be at the best fidelity, if you will. And that'll be 20% off if you order through CGN. That'll be $47.99. Next, we have the Atomica Omnibus hardcover. And this is volume 1, which is interesting to me. And we'll talk about that. But this was originally a Kickstarter that came out last year. Oh, sorry. Kickstarter that came out last year. The writing is done by Andrew Dabb, and the artist is Sal Abinati. But it came out, the Kickstarter came and went. It was a very successful campaign, and it was for the hardcover, so I think this is the same exact edition. You won't get any of the extra stuff. I think there's like some art prints and bookmarks and stuff that came with the Kickstarter. None of that, just the book itself here. But it has 75 pages of all new arts with covers by Alex Ross, Bill Sienkiewicz, Michael Turner, Darwin Cook, Simon Bisley, Glenn Fabry, and John Romita Sr., which, rest in peace. We got the news that John Romita Sr. passed away just a couple days ago. That's very sad, but this is probably one of the last pieces of artwork he did. I don't think it's the last because this was a few years ago, but probably one of the last. But this follows Atomica on his 12-issue arc as he travels the Soviet Union, doing battle with the old mythological gods of Slavic Russia. The new Atomica God is Red Omnibus collects the entire story in a single volume with over 350 pages. My only question though is this volume 1? I don't. There's certainly not new issues out there to make a volume 2 that have come out so far, but I don't know if they're revisiting the character maybe. But the cover itself, you see, is done by Alex Ross. And this will be $37.49, 25% off if you order through CGN. The publisher is Mercury Comics. We got some chat in here. Let's see. I'm going to watch it twice. We already have Guardians of the Galaxy 11 out of 10 rating, and then Across the Spider-Verse at a 12 out of 10. Flash will be a 13 out of 10. Wow, low hits expectations are high. Cover artists are fire. Atomica sounded like a woman. Oh, well, I guess that is like in Spanish, when you've in the word on an A, that's like the feminine version, and then O is the masculine. Maybe that's where you're thinking that. I never read Atomica though, but I almost backed the Kickstarter last year, but I was waiting for it to hit retail or the direct market, which obviously it's doing now with this release. Is my water over there? Oh, can you get it for me? Sorry, my producer here is helping me with behind the scenes that I need a water. Has anybody in the chat read Atomica? And would you recommend it? Up next, we have Unwritten Compendium. This is from DC Comics. Mike Carey and Peter Gross are the writers, and then Peter Gross and Vince Locke are the artists. This is $35.99 if you order through CGN. That's 40% off the cover price. And it is about a boy wizard, Tommy Taylor, is the main character in a series of fantasy novels by author Wilson Taylor that have become a cultural phenomenon. However, as a result of Tommy's success, the real Tom Taylor, the son of Wilson long abandoned, is worshipped worldwide as a literary legend made of flesh. As Tom's life begins to take an eerie and deadly parallels with Tommy's, he's drawn into a strange literary underworld where the power of storytelling is as strong as any spell. And there'll be 2 of these compendiums. This is only volume 1 and includes the Unwritten 1 through 30, plus the original graphic novel, The Unwritten, Tommy Taylor and the Ship That Sank Twice. That sounds like a really interesting concept. I have not read that. If you have in the chat, let me know. We got someone that maybe have read it. Unwritten was a Vertigo title. It's quite good. Okay. All right. It did sound like a Vertigo title and written by Mike Carey. I know he did a lot of Lucifer. And I think Books of Magic, maybe. But I know he wrote Lucifer for sure. Oh, and he also wrote he had a run on Hellblazer. So I've heard a lot of good things about Mike Carey's writing. But I've not actually read any of those. I've not read that deep into the Hellblazer run. I think his Hellblazer run is like later in the 300 issue run. And then I have not read Lucifer, which I am curious about. I kind of want to. But this sounds fun. It's like you get a little bit of wizardry mixed in with some literary works, kind of maybe some meta commentary on those things. Sounds like a fun read. Mike Carey is awesome like Gaiman. Ooh. So you put Mike Carey right up there with Neil Gaiman. Neil the Legend. And that'd be $35.99. I think I said that. Up next, we have a box set. This is Flash, the Fastest Man Alive box set. This is for the moviegoers this weekend. One of the reasons why I asked if anybody's seeing Flash is because this box set was made specifically for you guys, or maybe new comic book readers. So this is a really cool idea that DC did. They started it with the Batman that came out. I think they had a box set that included Batman Year One, Batman The Long Halloween, and what was the third one collected in that? I forget. There's a third book, but it's a box set that kind of like ties into like the movie. It's like, if you like the movie, read these books. This one is, I think this one it would appeal more to new readers. So if you have a new reader in your life, or someone that's like maybe first time reading comics or new to comics, that's going to go see Flash with you this weekend, and they're like, oh, I really like that. What kind of comics can I read that ties into this? Then this is for you. So this includes 3 books. The first of which is Flash, the Fastest Man Alive, which is a 3-issue series that was done by oh man, I forget the guy's name. I looked this up today. I forget, but it was a 3-issue run that is a adaptation of the movie you're about to watch. So it's like, and it has Batman in it, so it's like a movie adaptation prelude kind of thing. And then it includes Batman 1989, the movie adaptation, which I think was done by not Dick Giordano. Who's the artist on that one? Man, I looked these things up before the show, and then I totally space it when the show goes live. So I'm going to type this in and look it up real fast. Jerry Ordway, that's the name I was thinking of. Jerry Ordway is the artist on the movie adaptation. That came out in 1989, and it's been released a number of different ways. We'll see that even come up later today in the catalog. And then you also have Flashpoint, which is the 6-issue run that led up into New 52. So you get Flashpoint, you get Fastest Man Alive, and you get the movie adaptation of 1989 Batman. Those 3 together will set you up for this movie you're watching, or maybe even fill in some gaps for you, or be a compliment to the movie. That'll be $29.99, 40% off the cover price. Huh? Okay. It'll be $29.99 if you order through CGN, 40% off the cover price. Let's go back. Oh. Yep, great world builder. Mike Carey? Okay. Don't ask me for a Flash reading order. Yes. Kenny Porter. Yeah. Yes, Kenny Porter. Okay, thank you. He does the Flash Fastest Man Alive. And then Flashpoint is Andy Kubert on artwork, which is amazing, with Jeff Johns on writing. I'm actually reading Flashpoint for the first time ever. I downloaded it on Hoopla. I haven't, bought the collected edition yet, but I wanted to read it before the movie. And then I'm doing a big Flash reading order, which is what Low Hit's joking about here. But yeah, Andy Kubert's on artwork. I love his artwork, especially his more modern DC stuff. I really enjoy. Oh, not that one. Then we have an epic collection. This is Wolverine to the Bone. This is still continuing Larry Hama's run. This will be $26.99. That's 40% off cover price. It includes Wolverine 76 through 86, Cable number 16, Wolverine Evolution, Wolverine and Nick Fury Scorpio Rising, which is a callback to that great miniseries that had artwork by Howard Chaykin on the original one. I'm not sure who does the artwork on this one. But this continues the Larry Hama run. Not quite to the end of it. I think Larry Hama, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he ends around issue 100. But yeah, so if you're into the epic collections and Wolverine, you'll want to pick this up. Then we have an interesting box set release. We've not seen this done a ton of times. I think the most recent one I remember was the Doomsday Clock box set, which came with Volume 2, came with the box set, and then you had to put your old Volume 1 that you already bought into the box. This one is called a Build-A-Box set. So this is Batman One Bad Day hardcover box set, where you buy the box set, and this actually comes with 2 volumes. It comes with One Bad Day, The Riddler, and a new printing of The Killing Joke. So it comes with 2 books in a big box set that you need to fill in with the other One Bad Day hardcovers. I don't know if DC will eventually release a box set with all the volumes included intact, or if this is the only way to get the box set. We don't know that answer. It's not been solicited, but each of those volumes is getting a hardcover release. Like they were originally released in, they were like thicker single issues. I think they had like 60 to 80 pages per, and they were like graphic novels, if you will, like OGNs. So they're all getting hardcover releases, and you're gonna be able to fill out this box set with it. And this is $26.99, 40% off the cover price. Like I said, it comes with the box set and then 2 of the volumes that you'll need. And one of those is The Killing Joke, which kind of started off the concept of One Bad Day, which is in The Killing Joke, it was just the Joker trying to prove that everyone in the world is just one bad day away from going crazy and becoming a bad guy. And he's trying to prove that through making Jim Gordon go through the worst day of his life, proving that he could be a bad guy. I won't spoil it for you on whether or not that happens if you've not read The Killing Joke, but it's amazing. It's by Alan Moore and Brian Boland. You have to read it. But all these other concepts that concept plays through all the other rogues gallery. So eventually this box, if you fill it out with all of them, you'll have the Riddler, which comes with the box set. But then you also have Two-Face, the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, Catwoman, Bane, Clayface, and Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, however you say that. I know it's said 2 different ways. So that's that. Interesting release. Some good stories and One Bad Day. Bane and Freeze stories were the best in my opinion. So Lohit's read them all. He was getting them weekly. He's a Wednesday warrior, if you will. And he says that Freeze and Bane were the best. Yeah, so the box, you don't have to get them all, but there will be gaps if you don't, I guess. So next one is from Fantagraphics, my favorite publisher. It's called Freak Buck. It's a hardcover, and it's Alexei Zarin is the editor of this kind of anthology, and it says Freak Buck is a prison for the monsters we build every day. The book covers all the cell walls. It features new and cutting-edge artwork from Marty, Igor Hofbauer, Abraham Diaz, Gunnar Lundkist, Josh Simmons, Josh Bayer, Alexis Rose, Jasper Jubenville, Longmont Potion Castle, and more. Jasper Jubenville is a big deal. I don't know if he's in the chat. I haven't seen him yet, but Cycle Cleveland, who normally joins us in the chat, is a huge Jasper Jubenville fan. And Jasper this is actually his first work that's going to be in a Fantagraphics publication. I thought it was going to be the summer special for Megan Mogg series by Simon Hanselman. Jasper has some work in that release that's coming out this month or next, but it's like a summer special annual hardcover type deal. But he'll be in this one as well. So it's a big summer for Jasper. He's a young cartoonist, and he's going to have two pieces of work getting Fantagraphics releases this summer. Hopefully he'll get a Fantagraphics release of his own with just his name on it one day and not be featured on it. But that'll be $26.25 if you order through CGN. Up next, I'm excited for this one. This is Walt Disney's Uncle Scrooge, Cave of Alibaba. This is in the Carl Barks library, volume 28. So that library is getting filled out now. I think they said when it's all said and done, it'll be 30 volumes, but they've been released out of order. So far, this will fill in the gaps. I think when this comes out, we'll have volumes 5 through 28 done. They did not do volumes 1 through 4. They started off with some of the later years of Carl Barks' work, which, I mean, it's not super important to read these in order. They're all kind of one and done stories. They do have like threads that like will build on throughout the history if you read them all or whatever, but they're very new reader friendly. So don't let the volume 28 scare you. But Carl Barks is just a legendary cartoonist, and his Uncle Scrooge Donald Duck work is just magnificent and must read, especially if you enjoy like adventure comics, and they're all ages comics, which I always like to press upon people that all ages means it is for all ages. It's not just kids. It's not just adults. You know, it's literally kids through adults will enjoy them. And this one has The Secret of Alibaba's Hidden Treasure, The Return of Magica de Spell, which is one of the quote-unquote villains of the Scrooge McDuck world, or Donald Duck world, and a rare story never before seen in the U.S. You can't depend on anything in Persia being what it seems. So that's a cool thing too. Is and these books have like a lot of essays about Karl Barks' life and history behind them, and like I said, and then like this said, it includes stuff that's never before been seen in the U.S. And when it's all said and done, if you have the whole library, it will be chronological in terms of when these stories were released, which I'm excited about. And I almost have a complete set. I think I'm only missing like 3 or 4 volumes, including this one, and then I'll have a complete set. And then those early volumes 1 through 4, they finally are releasing one of those. Those were like people have been waiting for those for years, but we're getting volume number 4 will be coming out in October, so it's exciting. All right, Havoc 1718 is joining us. I don't know what you said all right to, but I agree. All right, let's go with great comics. Next we have Best of 2000 AD Volume 3 trade paperback. There'll be 4 volumes of this. This is the third, obviously. And I didn't say this yet, but if there's any books you want me to look up, if we have them in stock or when they come out or anything like that, just throw that in the chat. I can always look those up. So like this, for instance, if you want to know if Volume 1 or 2 are in stock, I can certainly look those up. But this is from Rebellion 2000 AD, and it includes like some best of stories, a good sampling of different stories that 2000 AD offers, because it's not just Judge Dredd. It's a lot of different characters. And it looks like this one includes some work by Declan Shelby. Tom Moeller is the guy that designs these books, which Tom Moeller is the guy that designed all of the Krakoa era X-Men collected editions. So the Trials of X, Dawn of X, House of X, everything else of X, all those books, he designed those. So it's kind of cool that they have him designing these. It includes The Graveyard Shift, Judge Dredd, Gordon Rennie. Fraser Irving's in there. Okay, that's cool. He's a great artist. And some other stuff. Nice little sampling platter of what 2000 AD offers. Then we have Batman Fortress hardcover. This is 40% off and only $17.99 if you want to order it through CGN. This is by Gary Whitta with artwork by Derek Robertson, which is, I love his artwork. This will only be $17.99, 40% off. And this was a series that came out last year, I believe, but it's an 8-issue series. Batman Fortress 1 through 8 is what it collects. When an unknown alien ship enters Earth's atmosphere, disrupting global power and communications and plunging the planet into chaos, the world is left wondering, where is Superman when he is needed most? In the mysterious absence of the last son of Krypton, Batman must form a team to infiltrate the Fortress of Solitude to find the key to unlocking the brutal mystery. So it's a adventure-filled Elseworlds type tale story will leave you breathless. So Gary Whitta is the guy that wrote Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and Derek Robertson is the artist of The Boys, and also Transmetropolitan, and also New Warriors. I'm trying to think of other stuff that Derek Robertson's done. Stringer hardcover. This one is by Patrick Kindlon. Paul Tucker is the artist. Patrick Kindlon is the writer that wrote Frontiersman last year. And then Wallace Ryan is the letterer, and he has his own YouTube channel in the Library of Graphic Literature, I think it's called. He does a lot of, his videos are cool. He looks into a lot of the old classic like comic strips and classic Marvel DC comics. He has all the masterworks and archives. So it's cool that he's a letterer on this. But it's a crime thriller, and I love that cover. The cover is very striking. 1983, Tournament Tennis. A racket stringer turned small-time drug dealer gets in over his head transporting a gym bag of cocaine across Europe. Carrying $500,000 in narcotics puts him on the radar of every dangerous man on the continent. Whoops. This will be 1609 and is a hardcover. And I believe it's just a graphic novel. I don't think this was released in single issues before. I was about to ask, this is a compilation book. Which one? The Batman book or 2000 AD? Maybe 2000 AD. But I hope I answered your question. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before. Have you joined us before? If not, welcome. I appreciate you being here. And even if you have joined us before, you're still welcome. Sons of El Topo. This is an interesting release. So this is by Alejandro Jodorowsky with artwork by Ladrone. And this is volume 3, Cain and Abel. It's a hardcover. But all of the other El Topo, Sons of El Topo books in Alejandro Jodorowsky books, I can't say that, have been released through Humanoids. But this is getting a Boom Studios release, and I'm assuming volumes 1 and 2 are also Boom Studios. But is it a continuation of, let me see. Because Jodorowsky had the movie El Topo come out in 1970. But I don't know if it's like a before, it looks like a continuation, like the Sons of El Topo. So I love Jodorowsky's work, and I might have to check this out. I didn't even know this was a thing. I always just assume that they're going to be Humanoids releases, so I try to follow those. That'll be $14.99, 25% off if you order through Cheap Graphic Novels. Bloodborne, Lady of the Lanterns from Titan Comics. The writer on this is Colin Bunn, and the artwork is done by Piotr Kowalski. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. But it says, into the city of Yarnmim through the eyes of its citizens, when new hunters take the streets to fight against the cruel and unusual epidemic that has gripped the city. In the black of the night, families and faith will be tested. Collects issues 1 through 4 of Bloodborne, Lady of the Lanterns, plus the free comic book day strip. So it's from Titan Comics, who's been coming on strong with their comic book releases. I've been loving their work. Oh, Havoc, you say you're a first timer. Well, I appreciate you joining us. I really do. And for you and anybody else, I'd love it if you gave the video a thumbs up and subscribed if you haven't already. We do this weekly show just about always on Thursdays and just about always at noon. But if you follow us on social media, I always post when the show will be. And also in our weekly newsletter, I've been posting when the show will be as well. Up next, we have Deadpool by Alyssa Wong, Volume 1. This will be $11.99, 40% off. It has artwork by Jeff Shaw and Martin Kokolo. This is the new series that's brought Deadpool back. He went a couple years without having a really long ongoing. I think Kelly Thompson had a short run, if I remember correctly. Short little mini series of King Deadpool. But this is like his first ongoing for a few years. So I'm trying to see what this collects Deadpool 1 through 5 and material from New Mutants number 30. We have X-Men Trials of X Volume 10 trade paperback. This is from the aforementioned Tom Moller's designs. But this is the Zeb Wells run. He's the main writer on here. Steven Segovia is one of the main artists. This is the anthology's series of trade paperbacks that Marvel's released pretty faithfully ever since House and Powers of 10. But they are ending them soon. I know Omar's, I think, released that there will be a cutoff point where they stop releasing them in this anthology format and maybe just move on to just collecting like Hellions trade paperbacks and Excalibur trade paperbacks and whatnot. But this one includes an issue of Hellions, one of Excalibur, one of Marauders, one of New Mutants, and one of X-Men. It'll be $11.99. Oh, we got some questions here. Is Bloodborne the one from the video game? Oh, I don't know. Let me see. If it is, I'm not aware of that video game. But let's see. Based on the critically acclaimed Gotham gaming hit. Yes, Bloodborne, it is. You're absolutely right. The first line there. Based on the critically acclaimed Gotham gaming hit, Bloodborne. So it's based on it. I don't know if it follows the exact same story or not. But that's cool. I'm not a big video gamer, so that's probably why it wasn't on my radar. But yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, already did. Subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that, Havoc. Thank you. All right, we did Trials of X. Now we're on Sonic the Hedgehog Volume 14, Overpowered. This is the run that's been ongoing through IDW Publishing. The writer on this is Evan Stanley. This is $11.89, 30% off if you order through CGN, and it collects issues 52 through 56. I know this is a big one with kids and book fairs and libraries, but it is an all-ages title. I think if you're a Sonic fan and you're an adult, maybe read this with your kids. You might enjoy it. But it'll be $11.89 next week. We have the continuation of I Hate Fairyland. This is Volume 5, Gert's Inferno. So Scotty Young is still writing this, but we have a new artist on board, and that's Brett Bean. I believe Scotty Young's still providing cover art for each issue, but Brett Bean is doing the interiors. So it's a little bit different. It's not quite all just Scotty Young like the first 3 volumes were. I think there's 3 hardcovers that came out before. But bringing back the hit comic, everyone's favorite green-haired, axe-wielding, crazed maniac returns to this Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland style adventure. That's a great way. That's a great pitch. If Scotty Young walked into a room and said, Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland. Like, that's a great pitch. I like that. Gert is all grown up and living in a real world. Times are tough, and the only job she's qualified for has her trying to find her way back to the place she hates the most, Fairyland. This includes the 2022 series, I Hate Fairyland, issues 1 through 5. It'll be $11.89, 30% off the cover price. Now we have Secret Invasion, Mission Earth. The Skrulls are back in town. This is from writer Ryan North, and the artwork is by Francesco Mobili. Includes Secret Invasion 1 through 5, the 2022 series. It'll be $10.79 for this book, 40% off. Planet Hulk World Breaker trade paperback. This is by Greg Pak and Manuel Garcia on artwork. It'll also be $10.79 and includes Planet Hulk World Breaker 1 through 5. It's a return to Planet Hulk 1,000 years from now on planet Sakaar. A high priestess fills a stone starship prison with small green children, and a young woman with emerald skin searches for the legendary Green Scar to help save her brother from a group of apocalyptic cultists. So it's Greg Pak returning to the Planet Hulk mythos, if you will. Captain America, Symbol of Truth, Volume 2, Pax Mahanda. This is $10.79 for this one. And it is the run by Tochi Onyabuchi. I really probably butchered that. And Iguara is the artist. It'll be $10.79. I said that. Includes Captain America, Symbol of Truth, 6 through 11. Batman, One Bad Day, the Riddler hardcover. So this is the one that's included in that box set. But if you don't want the box set and you only want to collect certain volumes, maybe go this route. Same exact hardcover, I assume. I don't think the covers or anything will be different. But it'll be $10.79 for just this one. That'll be 40% off. Voyages. I'm going to think it's Voyages. It's from Image Comics. The writer is Sumuya Keskin, and Ellie Wright is on the artwork. It'll be $10.49 for this, and includes the first 5 issues of this series. In her comics writing debut, Elsewhere artist Sumuya Keskin asks, what if one of the Voyager probes reached an uninhabitable planet laid to waste by a wandering black hole? With her people's resources dwindling under the thumb of a relentless tyrant, Sin, a resident of the alien planet Modia, will find adventure, friendship, possibly salvation, an unexpected relic from an alien planet called Earth. So it looks like a fun sci-fi romp. And next is Junkyard Joe, which I've heard a lot of great things about. This is Gary Frank and Jeff Johns. And Junkyard Joe, $10.49 for this first volume trade paperback. It's 30% off. And it has Junkyard Joe 1 through 6, and this is in the Geiger universe. So from the explosive pages of Geiger comes Junkyard Joe. The world knows him from the comic strip by recently retired cartoonist Muddy Davis, but the truth stretches back to Vietnam War. The tragedies of combat and visions of a strange robot soldier that saved Muddy's life there will still haunt him. I've heard a lot of great things about this, and I I need to read this. It's totally up my alley. But I do want to read Geiger first, maybe to get the full story here. But I love this premise of having a comic strip character come to life kind of thing. Kind of reminds me a little bit of not Abe Sapien, Lobster Johnson in the Hellboy universe. But like I said, that'll be 30% off, $10.49. Gospel Volume 1 from Image Comics. Will Morris on writing and art. It includes Gospel 1 through 5, issues 1 through 5. It's a thrilling fantasy adventure that explores the truth behind the stories we tell. Then we've got Archie and Friends, Endless Escapades from Archie Comics Publications. This will be $9.74. I'm assuming this will be like a digest size, like the classic Archie comics. If you're a big Archie fan or have an Archie fan in your life, make sure you pick that up. Okay, we got some chat. I should read them on air. I always go to the chat and read them, and then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, the Hulk story was okay. I think I could have done a little bit better. Okay, man, the whole series, One Bad Day, needs an Omni. That'd be so dope. I wouldn't be shocked if we get that one day. I mean, they really put a lot of efforts behind marketing and stuff last year. The big push. This box set might just be like the first release, and then maybe we'll get an omnibus that collects them all with the Killing Joke. That'd be really cool. That'd be a format I would probably pick it up then. Junkyard Joe is a must-read. Gary Frank and Jeff Johns. Well, then, Lohit, I have a question. Do you think I should read Geiger first, or can you read Junkyard Joe without that, or should I just read Geiger because it's good? Let me know. Gold Goblin trade paperback, 40% off for this. I've heard a lot of great things about this series. It sounds hokey. Trust me, I had the same impression. I was like, Gold Goblin. Like, are we doing like Goblin Power Rangers now in Marvel? But I've heard nothing but great things about the actual series itself. So maybe we should. The Goblin sector of the Marvel Universe or Spidey Universe. You can read both independently. Okay, good answer. I like it. Then we have the Mighty Marvel Masterworks Captain America Volume 2. We have two different covers. The first one is provided by the King, Jack Kirby. That'll only be $9.59. These are the digest size Masterworks editions that collect like Silver Age material geared towards kids. I know my son has a few of these volumes. I don't think he has Captain America, though. You don't have Captain America, do you? In your Marvel books? No. So this is volume 2 of that, though. I'm trying to click on it, but my internet is a little slow here. But it does include MODOK's first appearance. This is, yes, so it includes Tales of Suspense 78 through 94 and Not Brand Ack, number 3. Those Tales of Suspense, though, that's when Captain America shared a comic book with Iron Man, which you can see on the cover there. This is Iron Man and Captain America, where they each got like 10 to 12 pages each for a story. And this is Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and I absolutely love this run. A cheap little plug here. I just did the video overview of the omnibus that this material is collected in on my own my own personal YouTube channel, Taylor Talks Comics. And I love this run. It's such a fantastic run in these short pages, because this includes 16 issues, but they're only like 10 to 12 page strips in those issues. Captain America. By Jack Kirby. They're just so fast paced and fun, and I can't express enough how much I love this run. And these are in the age, like, don't worry about the volume 2. These are in the age where every issue is somebody's first issue, as Stan Lee would say. But you have the first cover there's by Kirby, the next one's by Romero, and they do have different spines. So I know my son was collecting them with the classic artwork covers, but they do have the modern one as well. Here's Batman, the 1989 movie adaptation trade paperback coming back to print. Oh, here's the answer that I wanted earlier. Denny O'Neil and Jerry Ordway are the ones that did this. So if you're not getting the Flash Fastest Man Alive box set and you just want the movie adaptation, here it is. It's only $8.99. And let's see here. Tim Burton's masterpiece. The softcover version of the adaptation, crafted by comics legends Denny O'Neil and Jerry Ordway, perfectly captures the moody atmosphere of Burton's film and the gothic architecture of the late production designer Anton Furst in compelling graphic novel form that fans can rewatch again and again, or reread, however. But that'd be $8.99. Then we have Unpettables. Is it the last one? Okay, this is the last book. The Unpettables by IDW Publishing. The writer is Dennis Mesner. This is like a fun kids comic. Here's a premise. These two best friends have had enough of being petted. Sorry, my son's interested when I said kids comics. Have had enough of being petted. It's a nonstop zany middle grade adventure as they bust out of the petting zoo and hit the road to find their destiny. Pigman and Lizardo are free. They recently declared independence from their petting zoo, and now this pot-bellied pig and iguana are out to see the world. They are the Unpettables. And they're available for temporary work as freelance pets. But no matter what gigs the Unpettables may get, they have one very big rule. No more petting. What do you think? Does that sound interesting? All right, my son has given his nod of approval for this book. Oh, here we go. I was looking into those Archie hardcovers, but I saw that it was like a best of stories 1 versus a 1 through 20 type of book. Yeah, I want to read. I would love to collect the old classic Archie comics. I know they have the ones I wanted were like the Harry Lucy best of and Dan DeCarlo. Like those were the artists that interested me the most. I grew up reading Archie comics by way of my sister. She collected them in like those old digest books, and whenever we go on trips, my parents would buy them some for her, and then when she was done with them, she'd pass them on to me. So I love classic Archie comics. What's up? Oh yeah. And so, but I want to read them, and then what? Oh yeah, you want to? Sorry, right there you go. But it's the Dana Carlo and Harry Lucy one, especially Harry Lucy, because Jaime Hernandez of Love and Rockets fame that I like. I love those comics so much. He cites Harry Lucy as being like his big inspiration for his artwork, and you could totally see it if you compare the two. So I want to read a lot of those Archie comics from like that era with that artwork. But those best of Harry Lucy and Dana Carlo, I think those are like out of print now. But I wish they would. It seems like IDW made a big push to do these hardcovers for those. I lost my feed there. IDW made a big push for those hardcovers and collecting Archie and hardcover like years ago. And I think the collected edition market is like revamped and changed since then. And like it's bigger, the larger the audience. So I hope that they reprint them in some format. That's my point. Unpettable sounds like A-Team meets Madagascar. I love those pitches. It's like the I Hate Fairyland was what did they say? Deadpool meets Alice in Wonderland. Now we have A-Team meets Madagascar. I love that. But that's it. If you have any questions while I do my plugs here, put them in the chat and I'll answer those in just a moment. But if you don't, then we'll get out of here. But my name is Taylor of Taylor Talks Comics. I do the social media for cheap graphic novels, and I also run all the social media accounts, but I also write the newsletter, and I do this show every week. And it'll be next Thursday, probably. It'll be our next episode. So be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit the bell icon so you don't miss out when those videos go live. And share this with your friends. I think that's the best way you can support us. That doesn't cost any money, is to go on your social media and just share, hey, I watched the show today. It's pretty great. This guy taught comics. Oh, Psycho Cleveland. Are you serious right now? T-Blore. Oh, is that my name? I don't know. But Psycho, I was talking about you earlier because we talked about Jasper Jubinville. He's going to be in the... Has the show started? Yes, it's almost over, actually. But Jasper Jubinville is going to be in the... Was it Freak Buck? What was the title called? From Fantagraphics. Scrolling. Freak Buck hardcover from Fantagraphics next week. Jasper Jubinville has a story in there. So I was talking about you. Yes, Jasper. Yes, and you weren't here, but now you are. So Jasper has two things that are going to be in Fantagraphics this summer, right? Freak Buck, and then he's going to be in the Megan Mogg summer special hardcover annual. Yes. Okay. So Cycle's excited. Oh, is OT a reprint? What OT? Oh, you have it already. Is it a hardcover? Because this is a hardcover release. I'll show it to you real fast, actually. We'll do it live. Let me pull this up. This is a hardcover release, and it looks like this. Is that what your volume looks like? I don't think Jaspy is in the. Oh, then who am I confusing him with? Who's the other artist who's the artist that's in there with Simon then? I must be confusing Jasper with someone else. I always get those. It's like that's a trifecta of young cartoonists between Jasper and Nate Garcia and who's the other guy? Is it a reprint? I mean, Jasper is in Freak Book. I know, but who's the cartoonist that's with Simon Hanselman and the Werewolf Jones? Josh Pettinger. That's who it is. Okay. For some reason, I always mix up Josh and Jasper. I don't know why. But yes, that's Freak Book. Nate colored parts of it, though. He colored parts of the Werewolf Jones book. HTML Flowers is also in Werewolf Jones. I don't know who that is. It's the J names, probably. Cycle's just having a whole conversation with me now. While he continues, follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram at CheapGN, and then follow us on Facebook. Search for Cheap Graphic Novels. Nate Garcia, so he's getting some published work in some Fantagraphics collections. One day we're going to see some Nate Garcia. We're going to get a Fantagraphics release of his work. Freak Buck is being republished by Fanta. That's dope. So you would recommend it then? Because I don't know much about this. I don't remember when it was coming out or anything. It sounds like you're recommending it though. Follow us on our newsletter. It comes out every week on Mondays. I write that as well. And then make sure to subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends, all that jazz. I appreciate you guys joining us. There is an ad for Nate Garcia. Whoa! You didn't hear from me though. I'm going to click off that real fast. Shh! Don't highlight. Oh, I just highlighted it. Sorry. Nobody saw that. Have a great day. Read some more comics.